Welcome to Right on the Mark with your host, Mark Young. Today, we're going to be making
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my kitchen. I'm glad you could join me today. Today I'm going to be making what's become a staple in our house over the past year, and that is peanut butter protein balls. The protein is in the peanut butter, so that's a little bit redundant. But anyhow, it's something that I started making because my son Logan and I wanted to try to find something that would be a healthy snack and also provide us with some protein after workouts, things like that. I did find some in the grocery store, but they were so expensive, so I wanted to try to do it on my own. So today, these are all the ingredients that you would need to make the protein balls. And there's peanut butter, flaxseed is something that I've added in, oats, honey, organic preferably, but if you can't get that, then regular honey will do. Just a little bit of vanilla, and of course chocolate chips. Those are always the best. So it's something that I found on the internet. Of course, everything, you can find everything on Pinterest, you can find everything, but I've adapted it a little bit to make it what I wanted to do because I wanted to make it healthy for us. So the first thing you do is you start with your oats. Now I use gluten-free oats. Naturally, oats are gluten-free, but sometimes they can be cross-contaminated. That doesn't bother me, but some people it will bother them. So I buy the actual gluten-free oats. And these are, what are these called? They're not rolled, they're highly processed. So they're a little bit, you'll see here, they're a little bit more smaller, so they're easier to digest because we're not going to be cooking these. They're gonna, eventually everything will meld together, or as Mark says, marry together, and that'll all come together in there. And so the fact that they're smaller, it'll be better for everything. So we need 2 cups of this. So that's 1 and 2. Now oats are healthy for you because they help to absolutely lower cholesterol, and they also have antioxidant properties in there, which is a cancer fighter. So it's something that is very healthy for your heart, for cancer, to avoid cancer. Also, because they're very filling, they can help you lose weight. So the next thing that we're going to add in is the peanut butter. You can use natural peanut butter. The only thing with natural peanut butter is sometimes it can be very dry, so it'll dry out. The balls will start falling apart a little bit. So it's better to use some kind of processed peanut butter, although I know that's not always the best. I like Jif. We use the reduced fat one, but you can use the natural if that's what you want to do. You might have to add in a little bit more honey, but you want to have a cup of that. So it's 2 cups of oats to 1 cup of the peanut butter. Put that all in the bowl together. And then after that, we're going to add some flaxseed. Now flaxseed is also high, it's an antioxidant. It also helps lower cholesterol. It's good for your heart. And it's also good for anybody who has diabetes because it helps improve your blood sugar. So it's something that is healthy also. Now we need 1 cup of this. And if you can get the ground flaxseed, it's much better because it's easier to roll and stays together better. Okay, so that's 1 cup. And I usually get these in Walmart. So if you can get the ground flaxseed and it's cheaper, that's always a positive too. The next thing is honey. Now honey, I already poured it out because it's very hard to get it out and sticky, and so it's easier this way. It also has all the same properties, so it helps It's better than regular sugar because it helps to that helps with your blood sugar. It's higher on the glycemic index, so that helps keep your blood sugar regular. You need to get paper towel. There's honey everywhere. So after that, then you can add in your chocolate chips, but usually I like to just try to start to mix it up. You can put a splash of vanilla in it. You can use a teaspoon. I usually just eyeball it. So that should be good.
2 shots of vodka. Then 1.
Now you could probably put this into a food processor, which would be easy to mix it up. But I feel like this is part of my workout. Although I always say this every time I do this, I need to start working out my arms more because this will really get you. So once you start mixing it up and get a little bit mixed in, then you can add in the chocolate chips. Now I like to use the smaller chocolate chips, the mini chocolate chips, because they blend in with the peanut butter balls better. So you can use 3/4 of a cup. This is a 1/2 cup. I usually start and see what it looks like, and then you can add more if you want after you get it all together. Now you just keep mixing it and try to keep it in there, and try to keep it mixed, get it mixed pretty well, because you will be forming it into balls, so you'll be mixing it more with your hands, but it's better to get it mixed in. Now you have to keep mixing it, but there will be oats on the bottom. There's always seems to be oats on the bottom. So once you think you have it mixed, keep going more and more to mix it up. Now that looks like it's probably enough chocolate chips that I put in there. So don't want to increase the sugar content too much. We've already added in the honey. People will say like, well, you're putting honey in it. That's not very good either. It's much better than putting in sugar, and you really couldn't put sugar in here because it wouldn't stick together. So the honey helps stick together along with the peanut butter. And I seem to have gotten all over myself. Okay, so when it starts to come together, so you can see I'll show you what it looks like. It's starting to come together, mix together, marry together. It should be pretty good, and you can start to put it in. If you're going to put it in a food processor, I would say do it and wait to add in your chocolate chips, because they'll get ground up and then you won't have any chocolate chips in there. Okay, so looks like we're good. So at this point you want to get a teaspoon, because that's about all the bigger that we're going to make them. Show you. Grab a teaspoon here. And also, if you're like me and you wear jewelry, make sure you take that off, because that's not going to be good mixing. All right. Maybe not. Okay. And roll up your sleeves. Make sure your hands are clean too, which mine were before I started, so we're good. So I know if you saw Mark and I the one time we made the bourbon balls, that's pretty much what this is like. You want to take a teaspoon, just get enough on there, and roll it into a ball. Now, you'll see whenever you start to roll it in, everything will start to mix together more. The oats will start to mix in there. So the ball should be about this big. And I would say place them into an airtight container, because what you're going to do is you're going to keep putting them in here, and then you want to store them in the refrigerator. They're always better. You want to try to make them and then let them be in the refrigerator for at least an hour before you eat them. And then I would just keep them stored in the refrigerator too. So I'm just going to keep rolling these, and we'll get to the end here eventually.
We're putting these in the refrigerator, or am I just saying? You just say put it in the refrigerator. So your refrigerator's leaking if you want. Should I say, Should I say that how long they last? Keep them for 2 weeks. However, they won't last that long. Well, if Brown Marcus said, it's like your refrigerator's running. Hey, is your refrigerator running? Yeah. Hey, is your refrigerator running? Did you get it? Hey, baby, the nut is young and so am I. Hey, baby, your refrigerator's running. You better go catch it. Hey, baby. What is it, you? Hey, baby. Something about you and me or something? Hey, baby. Rearrange the alphabet, put you and I together. Hey, baby, are you retarded? Because you're special. Hey, baby, is your daddy a magician? Because how's he put all the stars in the sky in your eye?
Well, that's about it. I've finished making all of the peanut butter balls. Here they are. Turned out pretty good. Like I said, you want to keep them in an airtight container in the refrigerator. And I would say they would probably last 2 to 3 weeks. However, if it's anything like it is in our house, they do not last 2 to 3 weeks in our house. So that's about it. I hope you enjoyed this segment, and I hope to see you again sometime soon. Wink, wink. Have a great day.
Well, that about wraps it up for Right on the Mark with your host, Mark Young. Don't forget to like, subscribe, tap that bell so you don't miss any of this and any of this. See you next time, folks. Hope you enjoyed it.